ever get this Bluetooth thing doing right.
It's always better when I turn that Bluetooth off on the video. What's up, y'all? What's good? Gotta have this inhaler. Doctor prescribed to help me. It's a huge pro wrestling fan for those of y'all that follow my channel. But I'm not gonna talk about AEW and WWE right now, like what's going on. I'll do that in some other videos. But I'm gonna talk about it in the context of all-time wrestlers. What inspired me? I just was on Facebook and I saw that they had listed that they felt like the greatest in-ring wrestlers, the greatest wrestlers of all time. And I have kind of a problem with these are the top 4 names. I don't agree with all of them, and I'm gonna explain why and what my greatest wrestlers are. But I know why they posted this list, and I'm gonna kind of go along the lines of that. They had Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, Bret the Hitman Hart, for obvious reasons, and last but not least, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. Now, I'm gonna start with my GOAT is Ric Flair, hands down. Dirtiest player in the game, just recognized globally as a top wrestler. His persona, the things that he said, the things that he did. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about Macho Man for a minute too. I'm gonna get on him too, Ted. He's one of my favorites too for a number of reasons. And when I think of wrestling, I think about Ric Flair. I mean, there's no way you can ever think about wrestling and not think about Ric Flair. I had the pleasure of meeting Ric Flair, and when I tell you the man, when you meet him in person, it's like, dude, like you met your idol when you were a kid growing up. Like it's just like he just has that persona. And funny thing about it is he was drunk when I met him. He was at a bar, and my kids spotted him before I did. Man, they was like, my son said, "Daddy, that's Ric Flair." And I walked up to him, and he was so nice, man. He was just, even though he had been. And the crazy thing about it is like this was like maybe a couple of months before his son passed away, man. And I know he was dealing with a lot. And you could tell he was kind of self-medicating with alcohol and stuff. And he had a good group of guys around him, very supportive and, things like that. They were trying to keep him in good spirits and stuff like that. And he was just so nice. Like he got up, he talked to me, shook my hand, took pictures with me, talked to my sons. He was just a nice guy. Just like really, really just nice, really just kind-hearted guy, man. And I believe that's how he is. Because I've heard other people that met him and said that's the way he is, though. And he did that for me and everything. I didn't even ask him to do it. And we both threw up the 4 horsemen signs. I got that picture. I'm going to post it on my page if I ever find it. It might actually be posted on my page. If not, I'm going to repost it. But Ric Flair, he's just a man, dude. He just, everything about him, the figure 4, just know how to get the crowd involved. Ric Flair make you laugh, make you mad, make you cry. Nobody can evoke emotions out of the fans like Ric Flair can. He just done so much for the business. Where I feel like Ric Flair was limited, now I'm gonna compare him to The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. Well, I don't mind if somebody puts The Rock as the GOAT. And here's why. The Rock is a jack of all trades. He's so good at everything. Now he's like Michael Jordan. If you're gonna look at a comparison in wrestling to Michael Jordan, you gotta say The Rock, because The Rock his game is flawed, man. It's not flawed. I mean, it's unflawed to me. Like he's great in the ring. Now, is he the greatest wrestler ever? No. The Rock is the only wrestler I know that can tell a whole story with his face. Like the ring, just with his facial expressions. Here's a fact a lot of people don't know. That the Rock actually used to live in Nashville. And when he was in Nashville, his family were very poor because his father always took his family with him. He was a family man, raised his children. Great example of a black man, sticking it out with his family. His dad just was a star, but back then WWE wasn't paying a lot of money then. And then he wasn't able to be as big a star as his son was. So he would work odd jobs and do whatever he had to do to take care of his family, though. And The Rock was getting in a lot of trouble when he was in Nashville, and the family was real poor. But The Rock always wanted to be an actor. What he's doing right now is what he always wanted to do. Like more than football, more than wrestling and all that stuff. He wanted to be an actor first, and he was going on a lot of auditions around Nashville. You know, I heard Steve Harvey tell the story of when he became famous, like first got his start in comedy, where he kind of turned the corner and he was about to give up. And he said he went to the Apollo Theater. He went out there to L.A., not Apollo Theater. He went somewhere in L.A., where it's kind of the equivalent of the Apollo Theater. He said when he got there, like he met The Rock. The Rock was trying to do stand-up comedy back then. You know what I'm saying? This is before WWE. So like he always wanted entertainment. So what he did was he made the best of the opportunities he was given in life. And playing professional football, eventually going and becoming the biggest WWE star that lived, and all that stuff. And then eventually he got to where he said that's why he stopped wrestling. Because I mean the truth of the matter is, like he's doing what he always wanted to do, as great as he was. So that's what gives me, like, wrestling wasn't even The Rock's first love. You know, he comes from a family tradition of wrestlers, you know, his dad and all that stuff. But he always, like, for him to be one of the greatest of all time in something that he loved, but not his only love, you know. I mean, that just speaks volumes about how great this guy was as an entertainer. And he is as an entertainer. I mean, The Rock can take he's like Denzel Washington, in that he can take a bad script and still, like, be a star in the movie, man. Like most of The Rock's movies are box office hits, but some of them haven't been, though. He work with them all. You name them all, from Tyler Perry to all of them, man. And he's just great. The Rock is great. So, if you got The Rock as your GOAT, and you have no complaints from me. Now, let's talk about Hulk Hogan for a minute. You know something, brother? Hulk Hogan, you know, brother, is the LeBron James of professional wrestling, brother. You know what I mean, brother? LeBron, Ramon James, and Hulk Hogan, like the LeBronomaniacs, the Hulkamaniacs will run wild on you. Man, Hulk Hogan ain't no, he's another LeBron, man. Like he was a media hype job, a guy who never really had a lot of talent, really. He just could, like, burrow over people, drop legs on people like LeBron James, fouling his way to the basket, all these things. And Hulk Hogan had basically his own version of clutch sports around him, man. You know what I'm saying? He had, like, great guys, media people. And yes, Hulk Hogan looks the part. The Rock LeBron James looked like he can play basketball, but we all know what time it really is. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have that persona about themselves, that they're great entertainers. Great entertainers, but just not good. You know, I mean, LeBron James can entertain people. He can. Like, he can fly through the air, do all those dunks and all that stuff, and electrify a crowd. But, like, you know, he just lacking, you know, the things that he needs to like, really take his craft seriously. And that's the same way Hogan was. Like, he just milked the business, made his money, did what he had to do. Now, when I was a kid, I loved Hulk Hogan. I think he was a great product for, you know, as far as getting wrestling where it is. That's why he's globally recognized as an icon. I'm not saying he didn't do nothing to earn that. You know, he definitely did. But he's just not, I can't put him in the top 10. Like, he's not that dude. Like I said, I view Hulk Hogan the way I view LeBron James. Same guy, pretty much. So some of y'all, man, that got y'all's feelings hurt because y'all thought I was going to put Hulk Hogan as no. Hulk Hogan was great for what he was. And he did a lot for the WWF, but not really just wrestling, but mostly just WWF. And, you know, but he was what he was for that time. And, he, you know, Bret Hart, I see that name. That was another one I was thinking about that was on that list. Bret the Hitman Hart is the greatest in-ring wrestler I've ever seen. Other than maybe him and Curt Hennig probably side by side. Because Bret will tell you Curt is better than he is. He'd be like, man, if I got in the ring with anybody right now, I'd wrestle Curt Hennig, Mr. Perfect. He's the closest thing to me, just like I am. You know, they both was like, I used to love to watch their matches when I was growing up. Because they were so easily. Chris Benoit, yeah, Kurt Angle. Yeah, Chris Benoit, you know, even though he did what he did, yes, he was phenomenal. He was one of the greatest. Because he was trained by the same, whoever that was and put that little comment, Brian James, read over that comment. If he was talking crazy, get him up out of here. I think I know what I'm talking about. If he come in here talking crazy, defending LeBron James, get him out of here, because this ain't got nothing to do with LeBron James. Y'all, you butthurt fans. I think he said something about how LeBron James' name name come up in the thing. Yeah, thank y'all. Get that clown up out of here. You don't like it, get off my channel. Go to LeBron James butt kissing. Go to Reggie in the locker room, where they gonna tell you LeBron James the GOAT all day long. Go over there. Yeah, Bret the Hitman Hart he is like one of the greatest. Like, he's so good at his craft. He is like just perfect. Like he said, the excellent execution. Bret Hart was like he's a definition of a guy in that he does things right. He always was good. He never gave the wrestling business a bad name. Never was a great promo, decent. Probably was a better heel promo than a face promo. But I understand why he was a face the majority of his career, because of what he meant to the business. Oh yeah, man, they stupid. So they act like gold dust. Yeah, man. They so butthurt. They can't take it, man. Bret Hart, excellence of execution, man. He just great for the business, great for the sport. Never gave the sport a bad name. Always was a man of integrity. Classy guy. Kind of like myself. I always try to do things right in life, and and try to stay out of stuff. But people just don't want to show you respect and stuff. Bret gonna speak his mind about things. He's not gonna hold his tongue. If he feeling a certain way about a certain guy, he just gonna be the truth. And that's just that. That's what that is, man. If y'all don't ever listen to Jim Cornette, I think I seen somebody mention him in my comment section. Go to Cornette commentaries and listen to Jim Cornette tell stories about some of these wrestlers. And I tend to agree with Jim Cornette about 90% of the time. I agree with him with a lot of his assessments about today's wrestling compared to the old school. I'm a little than a lot of people, so I don't go all the way back into the Briscoe and Dory Funk Jr. and all them old school. Harley Race was an old man by the time I really started watching him. Ric Flair swears by him. No, Edge was definitely a beast. Edge, you got to put that Edge up there as one of the top great, because Edge was great in the ring and he was great. Edge was always a much better heel to me. He was a bad guy. Edge is a career heel. Now, he played baby for his career, and stuff like that. The fans like him, but Edge is as better as a bad guy. And I hate that the last heel run that he could have had that was really great, for some reason, they scrapped it. Creative, because I think Cody Rhodes got hurt or something. They shouldn't have never turned Edge back face. He was good. He was a heel for like 2 months, and he was killing it. When he started at Judgment Day, and he was doing all that stuff, he turned on AJ Styles, all that stuff, man. Edge was just one of the heels I've ever seen, man. Oh yeah, he's great. Yeah. The heel, man. Edge, he know how to get the crowd. He know how to make you hate him. Edge had that little look. He would get this little smirk on his face when he's a bad guy. Say little things and get under the end, make you boo him real bad. We all know Triple H is like, Edge and Triple H, man, like are two heels that you really believe, man. But Triple H was always so great as a heel, man. He was just so great. Triple kind of underappreciated as far as his talent and all that other stuff. I think Triple H, got nepotism treatment. But I tend to not believe that, man. I do believe he happened to be in the right position. He married her, but you can love, man. Him and Stephanie, they just fell in love. They was working together, and they fell in love. I don't think it was a political move. I think Triple H got everything. He earned everything he got. I just believe he just great, And, opportunity met with, don't get mad at the next man because he earned it. Like if James, I would have had no criticism of Bronny James had he just went out there. Oh yeah. When he beat John Cena, oh yeah. And that was a time really watching wrestling. Like I started watching wrestling again probably around 2007, like when Kofi Kingston and them was doing their things, and John Cena and CM Punk. When my kids got old enough to start watching wrestling, I started taking them to W events in like 2009 and stuff. That's when I started getting back into it again. But like I said, man, don't hate on Triple H, man, because he, like I said, I wouldn't have had no problem with Bron James had he earned it. Oh, Booker T, man, Booker T, you got to. I got Booker T like my top 5, dude. I got him way up there, man. Booker T is one of the greatest of all time, one of the greatest wrestlers they ever lived, man, by far, man. But I got to get off here because I could go on and on about this. It's so much I could talk about. When I got more time, I'm going to talk more about it because I'm going to do more wrestling content because I know y'all like to talk about that. But y'all have a good one, man. Y'all be blessed, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Brandon Love Sports TV. Shout out to the LDBC I'm out. Peace.